Approach, my child, and choose where your new life shall begin. May you find a new and better life on Solstheim, my child.
my stand today. Disgusting.
If you want that beautiful wife of yours to stay that way, you better.
Veteran, for honor. Thanks. I wasn't sure I'd make it off, but I'm alive. I wish I could have said the same for my man here. Thanks. I wasn't sure I'd make it off this farm alive. I wish I could have said the same for my man here. Some of the Redoran Guard have taken to calling them Ashspawn. Me, I don't care what they're called. All I know is they're a danger to Raven Rock and they need to be stopped. I was going to search for clues that might lead me to wherever they're coming from. I know it isn't the best place to start, but we know they've been coming from this direction. I think I could talk the Councillor into paying you, and I could use an extra pair of hands. Besides, I don't feel comfortable leaving Raven Rock behind, and I'd hate to lose any more Redoran Guard. We were searching the farm when the Ashspawn ambushed us. Have a look around and see if you can turn up anything useful. I don't. All I know is that the Ashspawn are coming from this direction. Good thing the farm's been abandoned for a long time. I'd hate to see what they would do to an unarmed farmer and his family. Not sure. I was told it was an old Imperial farm that was wiped out by the eruption of the Red Mountain. Not certain who lived there. It was already a pile of rubble when I arrived in Raven Rock. Report back to me if you discover anything unusual.
it wasn't for the bulwark, we'd be digging our houses out from beneath the ash by now. This is House Redoran territory. You do well to remember that.
If you find yourself in the ash wastes, keep your eyes to the ground. Ash. Splendid. Another mouth to feed.
Seeking passage to Windhelm? I've been sailing the Northern Maiden across the Sea of Ghosts. Not at all. I used to fish the waters around Solstheim, but over the years, the ash from Red Mountain poisoned the sea up there. If it weren't for my supply runs to Ravenrock, I'd have likely sold my ship by now and moved back to Riften. May the wind be at your back, friend.
Move along. Squatting isn't tolerated in the abandoned buildings. If you need a place to stay, head to the Corner Club. Nalior over at the Ienth Farm should be still mixing potions if you're seeking. Our West End.
Blood from a stone. As it is when fair winds guarantee.
That isn't my problem. I was clear when I loaned Garin the money that I wanted it back by first harvest.
I'll see what I can do.
Your visit here will be tolerated as long as you abide by our laws. Otherwise, you'll answer to the Redoran Guard. I've sworn to keep Councillor Morvain safe, and I intend to take that oath to the grave if need be. I have to be. As second Councillor, the security of Ravenrock is my primary concern. This isn't exactly the city of Blacklight. We're on the frontier out here, and we've had more than a fair share of troubles. After all we've been through together, I refuse to let Councillor Morvain down. Councillor Morvain is House Redoran's representative on Solstheim. As second Councillor, it's my job to support him and make certain his rule is enforced. Ravenrock started out as an Imperial settlement. But the Empire decided to abandon it, just as my people were first setting foot here. They left the town a shambles, but when House Redoran took over, we turned it around and it became ours. And even if it's been a struggle to make this island livable, we're proud to call it home. How can you have Dunmer blood in your veins and have no knowledge of Blacklight? It's the capital of Morrowind. Been that way ever since Mournhold was sacked by the Argonian. I don't visit there often anymore, but we still get the occasional supply ship and visitors from there. Quite a while ago, yes. They cut a bloody swath across most of the southern... Nobody seems certain why it happened. An attempted expansion? Revenge for the enslavement of their people? Or perhaps both? Whatever the case may be, thousands of Dunmer needlessly lost their lives, and many more were exiled from their homeland. Remember, we're watching you.
Looking for any potions? Ingredients? Alchemical supplies?
My husband
I'll
Bendel
give you this
feared
warning
visitors
only
would
once.
shun Raven
Stay
Rock.
out of my way,
I'm glad
and we'll
to see
do
he
just
was
fine.
mistaken.
If you're dealing with me, there's only one thing to remember. Pay your debts or end up hurt.
I work for Mogul. You got a problem, you talk to him.
Always nice to speak to someone from the mainland.
Welcome to Raven Rock, traveler. The Dunmer have been growing food in the Ashlands for thousands of years. It was born out of the necessity to survive in the harsh climate of our homeland. And now, with the constant eruptions of the Red Mountain, it's more important than ever. No, only the Telvanni have the ability to weave living growth from the ash. This simply takes the right ingredients, the right tools, and a lot of patience. Just got some of my merchandise off the latest supply ship. See if anything strikes your fancy.
That isn't my problem.
Next time you're hungry, stop by.
I
I
always
always
get back
have
my
plenty of
first
food for
harvest.
sale.
Want to buy anything, or just laugh at our misfortunes? Bad? What if I told you that you're the first person that's even considered looking at my wares today? I've half a mind to contact my friends at the East Empire Company and see if they need an extra hand in Windhelm. Oh, absolutely. In fact, I've corresponded with Vittoria Vici herself more than once. You know, the lady who runs the East Empire Company warehouse in Solitude.
Care for anything
The
from
biggest
my stand
warehouse they
today?
have in Skyrim.
Ash yams.
Bah,
Disgusting.
you're just like the rest of the folks around here. Mark my
I know
words.
why you're here.
The East Empire Company will return to Raven Rock. And when they do,
If you want that
I'll be at the
beautiful
top of
wife
their
yours
list.
to stay that way, you better.
The question you should be asking is, what don't I sell here? Because I have pretty much any supplies you might need. If it's not a weapon, potion, or armor, then it's likely that I have it. Jarland, over at the docks, brings me most of my supplies, and the rest comes from bartering with the people in town. Oh, Glover Mallory gets me a few things once in a while. He usually has the most amazing deals that I can't pass up. Mining gear? No. However, I used to sell East Empire pendants until I ran out of them. Popular little item. It's an amulet that was made exclusively for the East Empire Company. They gave them to their workers as an incentive at one point, a kind of reward for extra effort. They're no longer being made, so they've become a collectible. I'd love to get my hands. They could be anywhere on the island. The mines might be a good place to start. If you find any while you're exploring Solstheim, bring them here, and I'll pay you for them. Take a look. The East Empire pendants are scattered all over, so leave no stone
For
unturned.
my stand today.
Ash yams. Disgusting. I'd rather eat cheese if it's
Miserable.
sun for
Just miserable.
I know why
Oh,
you're
I
here.
hate this. Don't like it. I hate it. Every day it's the same thing. We open the shop, we hardly sell a thing, we close the shop and go to sleep. What kind of a life is that? Oh, believe me, I'd be on the first ship off this miserable island if I could. But I'm not sure I could do that to my father. I think it would break his heart. We've already lost my mother. I don't want to leave him alone. We lived in a settlement, perhaps a league from the border of Black Marsh, the homeland of the Argonians. Even though the Argonian invasion ended a long time ago, there are still a few scale-skinned clans that live within our borders. To put it simply, They attacked our settlement and slaughtered almost everyone. It was horrible. Keep yourself safe. Solstheim's still a dangerous place.
Looking for any potions? After we left Morrowind, we found ourselves in... We wandered around a bit and ended up in Morthal, where we took up temporary residence with Lami, the town's alchemist. I was fascinated by her work, and over a period of a few years, she taught me quite a bit. It wasn't long before we became homesick. We were the only Dunmer in Morthal. When word reached us that a settlement of Dunmer was forming on Solstheim, we were thrilled. It's been difficult, but I'm not regretting it one bit. In fact, I'm glad we've been able to stay and help. Remember, I have plenty of potions and ingredients. If you're looking for any exotic ingredients, just ask. As you can imagine, the eruption of the Red Mountain took an awful toll on Solstheim. Hunting for game has been scarce, and the waters are apparently too tainted for fishing. According to Councillor Morvain, my husband's been Raven Rock's most important food source for decades. Yes, I'm proud to say that I grow or harvest most of it myself. I only wish I had a better source for netch jelly. Those creatures are difficult to track down since it's so dangerous beyond the bulwark. That would be splendid. I'd be more than happy to give you something for the effort. So you're interested in my potions and ingredients? Careful with those netches. They may look tame, but they can seriously hurt you when threatened.
Always glad to help, Saria. What can I do for you? We meet again, Saria. Speak your mind. There's something you need.
You haven't seen Cretius Corellius, have you? That foolish old man's taken my pickaxe again. No, this isn't just your run-of-the-mill pickaxe. I'm talking about an ancient Nordic pick. They don't exactly grow on trees, you know. I prefer to handle these things on my own. Look, if you see Cretius, tell him to give me that pickaxe back, and I'll pay you for the trouble. A fine question, and the one that I hear most often from visitors to our town. I wish I had a more romantic tale to tell, but I was simply seeking my fortune and chose Raven Rock to ply my trade. Besides, knowing how to repair bone mold armor wasn't very useful in Riften. I had a friend over there, a dark elf named Van Ryth, a very talented armorsmith. Spent a lot of time with the guy swapping smithing techniques. Learned a heck of a lot, including how to repair bone mold. After he moved on to greener pastures, I decided to pack up, move out here, and put those lessons to the test. Been here ever since. It's the only tool tough enough to crack Stalrim, is what it is. Not many of those beauties left in the world. Forging them is a lost art. The one Cretius borrowed came from the Skull village up north. I, traded them some goods for it. Calling Stalrim an ore is like calling my forge a campfire. Some folks say it's enchanted ice, but I think there's more to it than that. I don't think I've come across more than a chunk or two in my lifetime, and smithing's my trade. If you're looking to learn more, you should head over to the Skull village. Someone there's bound to know more about it than I do. The finest weapons and armor. You tell Cretius he better give that pickaxe back to me. Or else.
If it wasn't for the bulwark, we'd be digging our house. Why? Never seen a Redoran guard before? If you intend to wander Solstheim, You do so at your own risk. We've got our eyes on you.
I work for Mogrel. You got a problem, you talk to him.
If you're dealing with me, I might lend coin to people that need it, but I never lend to strangers, so shove off. I don't know you, and the last thing I want is a stranger with his nose in my business. Go away.
I have a message for you.
Teldrin Sero, blade for hire. If you have the coin, I'm at your service.
It's from Captain Velith.
Then let's be off.
I'm so sorry, Geldis.
Right behind you.
Tell me, what did he say?
Welcome to the Retching Net's Corner Club, my lord. If you need anything, Master Geldis will be happy to help you.
Thank you.
We have all sorts of authentic dark elf food and drink here. Geldis spares no expense. Geldis may be a tough boss, but I can put up with it. Keeps a roof over me head.
Miserable. Just miserable. Oh, I
Welcome
hate
to
this
the
place.
Retching Net's Corner.
Keep yourself
Welcome to
safe.
the Retching Net's,
Sorry,
Outlander.
I'm still a
What can I
dangerous
get you?
place.
The finest sujamma across your lips, friend. Me own... In fact, I've just added some new ingredients to... All I need to do is get the word out that it's ready, and they'll flock here for it.
Stayed at home.
I was kinda hoping you'd say that. Here, take these samples of the sujamma and spread the word. If you get rid of all of them, there's something extra in it for you.
Vendel Severin. A pleasure to meet you, Serio.
If you're looking for a room or perhaps some... There's actually a funny story behind the name, friend. A few years ago, I was walking down by the docks, and I noticed a Dunmer staggering along with a bottle of sujamma in hand. He was one of my patrons and liked to drink heavily, so I wasn't exactly surprised. Ah, but you see, this particular Dunmer was as naked as the day he was born, and singing badly at the top of his lungs. As I'm watching this spectacle, a netch floats over the bulwark towards him. The man looks straight up at the netch, yells, "Have a drink!" and tosses the bottle. And it never hit the ground. Well, the bottle broke on the netch, and it must have swallowed its contents because it started floating sort of tilted. Finally, it stopped and began to quiver. A few moments later, the foulest liquid to ever assail your nostrils spewed from its maw. I've seen plenty of drunks in me day, and I'll tell you right now, that netch was sick. True story, friend. True story. With the mine shut down, there's no telling how much longer Raven Rock's going to last. Hopefully, Councillor Morvain has a plan. If you've got gold on your hands, you might talk to Rallis of the Colbjorn Barrow. I've heard he wants to excavate the place. I heard crazy old Cressius has been sneaking into Raven Rock mine again. At his age, he's going to get himself killed in there. Heard that Reekling's got a hold of Thirsk Mead Hall. Forced the Nords who live there to move to a camp nearby. The Ashspawn attacks on the bulwark are getting worse. Captain Velith is trying his best, but I think the Redoran Guard are overwhelmed. The Redoran Guard have spotted a pack of werewolves in the mountains. The hunters up on Frostmoon Crag might know more. Haven't heard anything lately, but check back with me. You never know. Let's sate that appetite, hmm?
In Morrowind. If you ever get the chance, you should visit there.
Come back if you're feeling thirsty.
Vendel Severin. A pleasure to meet you, Serio. Not today. Too many things on my mind. Pleasant journey, Serio. What's our next move? Long story, but I don't see the harm in sharing it with you. My last patron was a true Nord. He was dressed in animal skins, had tattoos on his face. A real traditional type, if you know what I mean. He had an insatiable bloodlust and was extremely stubborn. One of the toughest employers I've ever had. Simple. He paid well. Very well. Anyway, we'd just cleared a ruined fort somewhere outside of Whiterun, and when we got outside, we saw one of them galloping away on horseback. Well, my boss wasn't about to let him get away, so we pursued. On foot. For 3 days. Until we ended up tracking him to one of the largest bandit encampments I'd ever seen. My patron took one look at me and made the most menacing grin I'd ever seen. At that moment, I knew I'd never see him again. No amount of money would ever be worth that kind of death.
Right behind you.
Miserable. Just miserable.
I'd be on the first ship off this island if I had the coin. What a... Geldis needs to bottle this up and send it to the mainland instead of wasting his time out here. His drinks are outstanding. Thanks.
The usual.
Need something? Speak quickly.
You look able to venture outside of town. Perhaps you could help me recover something precious that was lost. A few months ago, I had sent an important folio to the first edition bookshop in the Imperial City to be rebound. They sent it back to me recently, but it never arrived. Yes, the Strident Squall, or something like that. The damn thing sunk right off the coast of Solstheim. Can you imagine? One of the sailors survived. Poor thing crawled all the way to Raven Rock on his hands and knees. Before he died, he told the Redoran Guard about the wreck and warned us that it was going to be crawling with reavers. Thank you. You have no idea how much it hurts losing such a precious heirloom. My husband is second counselor, so I certainly have them. You aren't here with bad news regarding my husband, are you? I couldn't bear it. Adral Arano, second counselor. How I hate that title. Damn fool's going to get himself killed over it someday.
I wish there was a silk
He's in grave danger, and yet he continues to place himself in harm's way. When I fall asleep at night, all I can do is hope he'll still... This island was never meant for us. There's too much death here. I assure you, if I could convince Adral to do that, I'd be on the next ship back to Blacklight. Unfortunately, Adral and Councillor Morvain are very close friends, and they will never abandon one another, despite my feelings. I'm the wife of a second counselor, and certain things are... The most important thing is that I stand by Adral no matter how I feel, and I intend to do that until we get off this miserable rock. Adral and I lived in Blacklight, the capital city of Morrowind. House Redoran has improved Blacklight substantially over the last 1,000 years. Its grandeur rivals that of Mournhold itself. The root spire where the Council of Great Houses meet is something to behold. I haven't seen the city in over 50 years. Even for a Dunmer, that seems like an eternity. Regardless, I hope to return there someday. Which doesn't seem likely, given my husband's commitment to Councillor Morvain. Oh, how kind. Thank Geldis for me, won't you? My husband is second counselor, so I certainly have the means to
Miserable.
reward you.
Just
if you find
at least my
value.
father will let me drink whatever I want without complaining. Tell Geldis I appreciate it. Keep yourself safe. Solstheim's still a dangerous place.
I've sworn to keep counsel. What? Oh, no, thank you. I need to keep my head clear. Remember,
If you ever need apothecary
watching
supplies, always a pleasure to taste anything Geldis comes up with. Next time you're hungry...
most exiled dark elves call Vardenfelder home.
Always a pleasure to watch when a man like you walks. Well,
had lost
tell
1,000
Geldis that Miri says she really appreciates it.
I'd be on the first ship off this island if I had the coin. What a waste.
It gets lonely out here, you know, on this remote island. Oh, hello. You looking for a handout or something?
Remember, we are watching you.
As the wife to the second counselor of Ravenrock, it would be my pleasure to help you any way that I can. My husband is second counselor, so I certainly have the means to reward you if you find my phone with.
Speak quickly.
Find Glover Mal. Perfect. I was just thinking about heading over for a drink. Thanks for saving me the trip. You tell Cresius he better give
Welcome
that
to the
pickaxe
Retching
back
Netch
to me,
Corner Club,
or
home of
else.
the finest Sioux jammer that will ever...
Don't
Brace
get
your
too
lips.
far ahead.
Safe travels, Outlander.
My wife's quite the alchemist. Thanks to her, my ash yams are growing quicker than ever before.
Well, we have all sorts of authentic dark elf... Sorry. Gildus won't allow me to drink while I'm working at Netch.
If you're dealing with me, take that swill and pour it down a well.
Until next time.
I work for Mokul. You got a problem, you talk to him. Mokul doesn't lend coin to outlanders. Look somewhere
If
else.
you're looking for work, the mine's been closed for a long time.
Seeking passage. There's nothing finer than dark elf Sujama. Like nectar it is. May the
Northern
wind
Maiden,
be at
ship.
your back,
If you're
friend.
looking for passage, talk to Captain Garland if you're looking to book passage. Ship shape and ready to go.
The master calls. Citizen headed east. May want to give Tel Mithrin a wide berth. I don't like the looks of that place one bit. If you're looking for passage to Vardenfell, you're out of luck. Make way.
Though our spirits may be low and danger lurks beyond the light, are you here to pray? Or perhaps pay your respects at our ancestral tomb? There where we inter our dead. They are sacred places, meant to honor their passing. Sadly, we've been unable to use the ancestral tomb beneath the temple as of late, and have resorted to other locations to scatter the remains. Those foul vermin, the abominations we call ash spawn, have risen from the ashes of our own ancestors. They're befouling the memories of our forefathers by defiling their remains. Thank you, Wanderer. That would be most kind. Here, this key should open the door to the tomb. I'm not sure why House Red...
The Dunmer race doesn't bury their dead, or leave them to rot inside a stone sarcophagus.
When a Dunmer passes, his body is given to fire, so he might return to the ash from whence he came. The Dunmer don't believe that death is the end. We believe that it's the beginning. The reclamations are the true tribunal, the Daedra that consecrate the Dunmer people, Azura, Methala, and Boethia.
We call them the True Tribunal because they have reclaimed their place in our hearts. From Sotha Sil, Amalexia, and Vivek represent what was. Beings who won the Dunmer people's hearts with their actions, but blinded them just the same. They were aberrations, false prophets. They used their status as heroes to shield the True Tribunal from our minds. But now that they've been destroyed, the light can finally shine upon the House of Reclamations. Be cautious, friend. The Ash Spawn are soulless beings with no regard for compassion. Excuse me, but the temple is for followers of our... Get that vile liquid away from me. Get that vile liquid away from me. Non-believers are never welcome. I grew up in the city of Blacklight in Morrowind. If you ever get the chance, you should visit there. It's spectacular.